guys, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the new Charlotte Tilbury Bejewelled Eyes to Hypnotize eyeshadow palette. See, I really love these palettes. I feel like they're the best bang for your buck when buying eyeshadows from Charlotte Tilbury because you get 12 of her eyeshadows for $75. I really like the colorway. Formula is super creamy and pigmented. I like the range of colors that you get in this year's palette. A good mixture of your cool tones, neutral tones, and warm tones, which is really nice. You get a little bit of everything, and you get 3 matte shades, and then the rest are going to be like a really beautiful shimmer. You get the Happy Glow, the Love Glow, the Dream Glow, and the Seduce Glow. So I'm going to show you guys 4 different looks that you can create with this palette, and as well as what lipstick I think would match with them the best, as well as cheek and blush. We're gonna skip like foundation and everything and then just go straight into color. I believe when she launched this, it was only for 48 hours. Charlotte Tilbury usually does that with her new launches to kind of like tease them and, you know, get you to purchase it before anyone else does. So it's currently not available, but I believe it's gonna be back on October 1st. If you're interested in seeing how I created the 4 looks with the new palette, then go ahead and just keep watching. So for the first look, I'm gonna go into the Happy Glow section right here. I'm gonna take the second shade right here, which is like a really pretty matte. And these are actually super pigmented. So I'm just gonna like slowly nestle that right into my crease. And I'm gonna take the very first shade with my finger and just focus that more on the center. Taking a little bit more of the matte shade and then kind of going around that. Almost like a halo eye effect. Slowly building it to my liking. And then actually I'm gonna take this really pretty gold shade right here. And then just taking this matte shade again, smudge your brush and running that on the lower lash line. I'm gonna tight line. So that is the eye look complete. So I went ahead and just popped on these Ardell lashes in the style 422. So for highlighter, I'm gonna be taking this Anastasia Amrezy Highlight. If you have any sort of like golden champagne-y highlighter, that'll totally work. And I really like this one just because it's super pigmented, and even though it's a powder, it looks very creamy and liquidy, and it just blends into the skin really nicely. Since there was no really like light color and I really like highlighting my brow bone, I'm just gonna take the highlighter. This will work perfectly. And then for blush, I'm just gonna be taking the Charlotte Tilbury in First Love. I just picked up a new one. I love this blush so much. So I'm just gonna take that on my blusher brush. And then I'm gonna be using the Glowgasm Beauty Light one and Peachgasm. I personally like to use it as a topper because it kind of doesn't really show up when I wear it by itself. I like doing it on top, and it just adds the most beautiful peachy glow. I like to press these in, so I'm just gonna be taking the Hollywood Complexion brush by Charlotte Tilbury and just kind of like stamping that right in. I'm just gonna be taking this Morphe lip pencil in the shade Chippy. So then I have the Angel Alessandra lipstick by Charlotte Tilbury, just a really beautiful like peachy nude. The NYX Butter Gloss and Fortune Cookie. It'll look perfectly with this lip combo. Alright, moving on to the second look, I'm taking the first shade in the Love Glow section and taking a blender brush and just sweeping it across my eyelid, kind of towards the inner corner as well. And then I'm just picking it up with my finger because I find that it applied better this way, just in those same areas. And then I'm taking the second shade, and with that same brush, I am just packing it on the center of my lid, kind of bringing it out towards my crease area, and kind of just slowly bringing and winging it out. Then I'm taking that same shade on a smudger brush, and I'm just going to run that along the bottom to do the same to the top from the bottom, just so it evens out really nicely. Then taking a more detailed brush, I'm taking the third shade from the Love Glow section, and I'm going to be smoking out my outer corner, just building it until I am happy with the smokiness. Now I'm taking the first shade again on a more detailed brush, and I'm just going to be highlighting my inner corners like I usually do, and then I'm also going to be highlighting my brow bone as well to give it a nice pop. And I always like to go back in with my blender brush just to make sure everything is nice and diffused. Taking that first shade once again on my finger and adding it to the center for a nice pop of glitter. Then I'm taking the Walk of No Shame eyeliner, and I'm just going to be lining my eyes with that, and then I'm also going to be smudging it on the bottom as well for a nice smoky and sultry look. So this is the finished eye look. I wanted to go in with like a pinky highlighter. This is the Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. I know that she is launching a new highlighter that looks just like her bronzer, but in like the silver holiday packaging. I was not able to get my hands on it. I think it was like only on Sephora for Rouge members or something like that. I don't know if I will be purchasing it just because it realistically doesn't really look like anything I don't already have. Like, to me it looks exactly like this, just like a really pretty pinky champagne highlighter. And that highlighter is just ginormous, so I don't think I will be needing it at all, to be honest. It's just super huge. There's no way in my entire life that I would ever finish a highlighter that big, and it's $55, so she is a little pricey. So for blush, I'm going to be taking the Chic to Chic in Sex on Fire. This is another one that I unfortunately broke, so I went ahead and repurchased it. It's just like a really nice mauvey purpley tone, and this is a great blush for anyone who has more of like a medium to deep complexion. A nice berry tone, so I thought it would look perfect with this look. So for lip liner, I'm going to be taking the Lip Cheat in Love Trap. And then for lipstick, I'm going to be taking this KKW lipstick in the shade Nude 5. Honestly, I really have been liking them. I do always like to add a little bit of gloss, so I'm going to go in with the Collagen Lip Bath in Walk of No Shame. Onto the third look, Dream Glow. I'm going to be taking the first shade on a blender brush and applying this on my inner corner and sweeping it kind of to closer to the center of my lid. Then I'm taking the second shade and I'm going to be focusing that on the center as well as working it into my crease as well to make sure it's nice and diffused. And then taking the same shade and just running it on the bottom. Now taking the third shade with a clean, fluffy blending brush, I'm going to be working that on my outer corner. And I'm doing kind of like a cat eye shape. I'm just slowly blending and building it to my liking. And just running it on the bottom as well. Taking the second shade, I'm going to be applying that on the center for a nice pop. And then just smoking out the bottom once again. Taking the first shade, I'm popping that on the inner corner for a nice glow as well as my brow bone. Then going in with a makeup wipe just to clean up any fallout and to make sure it's a nice crisp line for that nice facelift effect. And going in with a beauty blender as well just to make sure it doesn't look like I wiped my makeup completely off. So the eyes are done, and what I did was just add the Ardell Double Wispies, and then I did do a little bit of tight lining with Barbara Brown. I never really wear purple eyeshadow, but I'm really liking how this looks. If you have brown eyes, this is for sure gonna make the brown in your eyes pop. So I'm gonna be taking the Pillow Talk Beauty Light wand again. This is just like a really pretty pinky champagne. It'll match really well with all of these tones. Highlighter wise, I would always recommend something more on the pinky champagne side. It's just gonna match best with these purple and pinky tones. I'm gonna be using the Pillow Talk Intense blush by Charlotte Tilbury. So for lip liner, I'm gonna be using Iconic Nude. For lipstick, I'm gonna be taking the Charlotte Tilbury Dance Floor Princess. This is a beautiful pinky nude. Okay, last but not least, Seduce Glow. I'm taking the first shade and popping that right onto my crease. Then I'm taking the second shade and blending that out onto my outer corner. Just really blending it out to my liking. It came out a little bit smokier than I wanted to, but it's okay. And I'm also going to be taking that on the bottom lash line. And then just blending it out to my liking as always. Now I'm taking the last shade. I'm going to use that as a pop shade onto the center. And then taking the very first shade in Happy Glow, I'm going to use that as an inner corner highlight. And then I'm taking a brown eyeliner and I'm just going to be tight lining. So that is it for the eyes. That is Seduce Glow. Really pretty chocolatey topaz bronze shades. I love brown eyeshadows. I feel like they complement every single eye color and every single skin tone really well. Now I'm gonna go with a bronzy highlighter. I'm gonna pull out this old Bobbi Brown highlighter that I have in the shade Bronze Glow. And wow, isn't it crazy? I used to work for Bobbi Brown. That was my first makeup job. I want to keep it pretty like neutral and brown, so I'm going to go in with the Pillow Talk Intense. Just going to go light-handed. I don't want to put too much blush. So I'm going to be taking the Nude 2. Looks a little dark and crazy right now, but I'm going to be taking the Nude 3 lipstick by KKW. And this will create just like a really pretty ombre effect. I'm gonna take this Dior gloss just to be a little bougie. This is the shade 629. Alright, that pretty much sums up all the makeup looks. Now, my overall thoughts, opinions on the holiday palette. People have been asking whether this palette is similar to like last year's palette or the Pillow Talk palette, and I feel like last year's palette is a bit different. The Happy Glow section, a lot of people were asking if they were the same. So this is this year's palette and this is last year's palette. Are they the same? Probably. This one did feel a little bit creamier. You probably don't need them. I have a lot of doubles of a lot of these shadows. And if you're happy with last year's palette, I'd say maybe skip out on this palette. If you have the Pillow Talk palette, I'd say like the pinkier tones and neutral tones are a little similar. The only difference with this one is that you get your purples and a little bit more of like bronzy topaz shades. Overall, I mean, it's really up to you whether you want to get this palette or not. Are they like absolutely new colors that Charlotte Tilbury came out with? No. But I mean, if you love eyeshadows, if you love collecting them, if you love Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, go ahead and get it for yourself, girl. I'm not gonna judge you. Do you? I mean, I'm overall really happy with it. I like how there's a little bit of everything in this palette, and overall great formula as always. I always love these longer palettes from Charlotte Tilbury. So if you're new to Charlotte Tilbury and you want to try out her eyeshadows, I for sure always recommend going with these palettes. The holiday ones are always a great investment, I think, and they are limited edition, but knowing kind of like how her whole system works, I don't think this palette will sell out. I think last year's palette is still on her website, so you know, don't feel like you need to rush out and get it right away, because I highly doubt it's gonna sell out super quick. Watch her reviews, watch the swatches, see if it works out for you or if you like it. But overall, great quality eyeshadows as always. But that pretty much sums up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this review slash 4 tutorials. This video was kind of difficult, not difficult to film. I'd say it was really fun, but it took me 2 days to do it, and I did my makeup twice in 2 days, which was a little painful for my eyes. But overall, I had so much fun at creating all these looks. And let me know if you guys liked it by giving a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel, and let me know down below which look was your favorite and which one you're excited to recreate, and I'll see you guys in my next one.